Good morning. I'm Dave Kohl. We welcome you in. Right now, there are thousands of restaurants in cold weather cities which have outdoor, patio, deck space they can only use seasonally instead of year round. Throughout the winter months, the months where there's rain, there's cold weather, there's strong winds, those outside spaces go unused while needing upkeep and maintenance. Hey, they're part of the property taxes too. In some cases, the unused outdoor area increases the heating bill for the inside. During the rest of the year, there are times when the sun, the wind, and weather conditions force closing off the outdoor space, currently resulting in lost revenue. Well, that's why we're here today. New technology is available which enables restaurants and recreation venues to convert adjacent space from outdoors to indoors and back within minutes. And it's all done quickly and easily by remote control. The manager, the owner, they can control it. It's not even an automatic thing. This also means the current technology, including speakers, big screen TVs, DJ station, hostess station, payment terminals, and special lighting can remain safely in place year round. Being able to utilize this technology all year round will increase revenue for restaurants and recreation venues. You can host more holiday parties and special events with certainty while continuously increasing capacity. Here is our presentation of the technology and its many advantages for owners, for investors, and also for showing brokers that they'll be able to show an increased value to potential buyers and sellers. As it indicates on the screen, this is year-round restaurant expansion. Serve your customers indoors, outdoors, or kind of outdoors, but protected from rain, snow, wind, and of course, there may be some noise control that you can stay on top of as well. So let's take a look. Now, here's an example project. This is an outdoor restaurant that's currently in place in Florida, or so it looks like an outdoor restaurant. But we have the remote control. Now, this one's built with louvers on the roof. So now you can experience that little bit of sunshine but not have to worry. But maybe the sun is too much for your clients or customers, or maybe it's starting to rain. So, with the simple use of the remote control within minutes, you can take care of that. Make it a protected roof, even though you're outdoors. So, suppose it begins to rain, it gets cooler, the wind picks up, whatever the case might be, and now you want it to still use all those seats, but you want protection. Well, you're starting to see it now. Use that remote control, press the magic button, and now you have sliding doors. Now, this is used in Florida where they're not that thick. You can still see through it. That's part of the idea here that this is more of a sun and wind protection. Now, the quality of those doors can be a lot stronger. With Florida, the bigger concern is usually wind resistance and keeping the rain out. But these sliding doors can be thick enough to act as walls, and that's the important part of all this, that it can become an indoor facility year-round and expand your capacity for your restaurant or a restaurant that you're involved in. Maybe you're looking to invest in a current restaurant that doesn't have this. So you add this into your investment, and presto, your seating capacity is increased year round. So you've got one there on the current owner, or maybe it's something that you want to do to expand. Again, if you're a broker, look at what this can do to expand the value of the restaurant. Now, or recreation facility. Think about if you've got tennis court, pickleball court, some type of outdoor venue, even, for basketball. It could be outdoors when the timing's right. It could be indoors. all year round if you wish to do that. Now, let's get into an example here. Suppose your restaurant, your facility seats 75 people inside. Now, that may be a big place, but there's some that seat more. We're just doing an example. And suppose the outside patio has room for 25 people. Even the example you're looking at has room for a lot more than that. So we're using a conservative example. 75 inside, it could seat 25 outside. So using those numbers, that means that when it's raining, you're losing 25% of your potential income that night. Now, we can't have that. So that's, or during the winter, if you're in a cold weather location, that's every night you're losing up to 25% of your potential revenue. Remember, you're paying for that property, you're paying the property taxes, you're still doing the maintenance. So keep that in mind. Now, again, we're using rough numbers. Suppose your revenue comes to $500 a night. And again, we're using hopefully conservative amounts. So if you factor in that 25% for your outdoor patio, deck, space, whatever term you want to use, so 25% more means that your revenue could be $650 per night. So if you add an average of, and we're going to go conservative, $100 a day increase by this outdoor space, and that better be a very conservative number, well, that means that for the month of January in a cold weather city, that gets you 3,000, actually $3,100 more. All right, maybe you're closed New Year's Day. We'll say 3,000 a month for January. So for those 7 months, and that's conservative, 7 months worth of days and nights that you could be using this space when it's covered, it's protected when it needs to be. Well, that's $21,000 a year over a 5-year period, and that's how financing can be judged. Right there, that's more than $100,000 of additional revenue. And again, look at how conservative this estimate is. So look what you're missing out on by having the outdoor space you only use on certain nights. So let's continue to look. So it's just a click of the remote to put these doors down. And again, as far as the design, the type, that's up to you to approve. This is just the example that we're showing. You can use different colors, different thickness on the screen. You approve the design you want. Now, the cost for it, and it's custom work, but that includes your design and the contractors, the construction, that's all included. So again, here with this example, it's partial sunshine. It's enough so that you can eat. But again, if it's a problem for customers, just hit the remote. You can adjust the louvers on top. You'll notice that there's ceiling fans in place as well. And you'll notice that the screen is down. In this case, it's see-through. They want the patrons to be able to look at the rest of the setting. You can seal it up to further protect from wind, rain, and snow. You could even open it up. We'll have it thick enough so if you want to be able to feel like you're sitting outside in the snowfall, but you're warm and comfortable, you can do that. So this is something, again, if you have a ski lodge, for example, or some type, even a tennis facility. Imagine being able to play tennis or sit and eat, and you're looking at snow, but yet you're all warm and toasty. So that's part of it. The design, the contracting work, that's all included in the price. And as you can tell by our conservative projections, this is going to pay for itself in no time. A little bit of a look around the outside. Now the outside with the doors. Now here's what I was talking about. You'll notice that on the screen just to the left of the middle, you can kind of see through it. Yet the two next to it, you cannot. So this is part of it with the different degrees of the protection for the outdoor. Oh, and yes, it's possible. You could have some type of a design on your sliding door. So for example, here it's just the, traditional, the kind of the black, the dark, but maybe you want some type of a design or a lighter color. They can certainly look into that. Now, This is now available. It's brand new to areas other than Florida where this has been successfully demonstrated. So, as we were saying, chances are this pays for itself within 1 year. Keep in mind, there is a service contract that is included. The manager, the owner, the head waiter, whoever you designate or whoever is designated controls that remote. So what that means is, for example, with the louvers on the roof, it could start out with the sun shining in. It could rain for a half hour. You totally close it. It takes a few minutes to open it back up after the rain goes away. You're in control. Same thing with the doors. You can have them go up or down depending upon your needs. You can leave them down for weeks or months during the winter season, but the important point is how much that can expand your revenue. You want to have the band play outside. Now you can do that. Their equipment will be protected, as we pointed out earlier. A DJ station, you've got the big screen TVs, and how often have we seen that where some of these restaurants or bars, they'll have a big screen TV out on the patio. It suddenly starts raining, and those big screens get soaked. And those are hundreds of dollars plus the installation and the maintenance, hooking it up to the satellite dish or the cable or whatever it is that you're getting. So you want to be, very careful about protecting everything. Maybe this allows you to put those out there because you can be using this year round. So, very important. It's available basically starting now. So, there's the information for inquiries, and we will have some more, of course, at the conclusion, of this webinar. All right, I do see a couple of questions coming in on the chat, so let me get to those. Then we've got another part to this. We'll go back and we'll leave. Yeah, let's leave this for you. Rather than looking at the information, which we will get to you. All right, we've got great one here. Okay. Tom, who's in the Boston area, and boy, is that ever a target market. So he's asking about what happens, during while these are being put in. Can my restaurant stay open? He asks. Yes, it can, because when constructing this and the construction workers and everybody's there setting this up and testing it, remember, it's outside. So, depends on what time of the year you want to, have this done. So, yeah, you might want to maybe wait and have it done in September or October when you're not using that deck. And then you could have your deck, let's say, hey, starting November 1st, you can eat on our patio. You have the choices, whatever's inside, whatever's outside. So we can work with you. That could be part of the strategy because on one hand, we don't want to lose revenue from the nice weather. On the other hand, you may want to have it ready for maybe after Labor Day when the weather starts to cool down and it's too cool to be out there. Yeah, there is a better way than space heaters and, worrying about the temperature and having to have customers or potential customers call, oh, is the deck open tonight? Oh, gee, it's too cold. We want to eat inside. Oh, no room inside. You can prevent all that. So when you have this done is totally up to you, but you do not need to close the inside. That's the important part. So a great question from Tom. All right, we have Debbie that says, okay, interesting one. So she has kind of a donut and pastry shop, and she's looking to expand and create seating. There is like an unpaved or a paved like patio or space outside. All right, and she gives the dimensions. We don't need to go into that for the sake of this webinar, but the answer is yes. So this is something that, as you can tell, can be built out to fit within the property limitations. So, yes, you don't need to have a patio or a deck or anything existing. This could be put in to allow for the seating area. Then you can purchase, your chairs and tables if you don't have them, already to fit within the allotted space. So it's more of the property, the dimensions that would determine how many you can seat. And of course, it may be something with the municipality as far as how many people are allowed. But as far as from this product, which I also consider to be a service, as far as it goes with this product, it's a matter of, it could be installed so you could create a space for seating that you currently don't have. So now you could have people stop by, get their pastries, and any time of the year, if they want to sit out there in the middle of January and you're in a northern city, even though it's not outside, there's room to sit. And when it's nice enough, you can let the sunshine in, the fresh air. When it's not, when the weather's bad, it's still a place that they can sit and enjoy your pastries, maybe have some little bit of entertainment or acoustic music, something like that out there. So great questions. All right, we'll do some more questions at the end, but something else that I do want to show you is our, I don't want to show you all my different files there, but I want to talk about bathroom design. Now, this is different technology, and we're in the wrong spot here. So let's do our slideshow. That's what I'm looking at. Okay. So going to the bathroom, and this is whether you have the outdoor technology or not, with a restaurant, with a banquet facility, some type of entertainment, a recreation facility. You know what? I mean, going to the bathroom could be a pretty, a more pleasant experience than it is. And that's all about having a theme or extending the theme of the restaurant or of the location for going to the bathroom. You know what? And it's happened to all of us where maybe you're thinking, I'd like to take my date, my spouse, business associate, a partner to a certain restaurant, but those bathrooms are horrible. And I mean, everybody's, going to use the bathroom during their time there. But what if you had the place where it's like, oh, yeah, you got to see the bathrooms in this place? So it's a way to kind of help business. It may be a decision maker. It adds fun, but it adds to your customer's experience to have some type of a theme and make it fun, almost make you want to go in there or be able to accept it. And it, may distract from, how clean it can be and how often. So, we've got people on our team that can suggest a theme based on what's going on in the restaurant. This is custom work, it can be designed. So you can continue to add to each customer's experience with every visit. So here are some examples of, yes, these are, onesies. It could be where there's multiple stalls, such as the one on the right. So you add to the customer's experience with every visit, keeps them, walking through the halls. Hey, you got to use the bathroom. And they'll be telling their friends about this neat thing, whereas the restaurant that's competing is, you know, just maybe not a pleasant experience. It's nothing memorable. So you can do that. Here's some other examples. So there's bathroom, there's kitchen, there's specialty designs, it's custom work. You can kind of choose the favorite. So here are some things to kind of make it fun. There's some that we're not able to show because the restaurant owners prefer their privacy, their exclusivity. But for example, you're in a restaurant themed about a city, walk into the bathroom and you're looking at the skyline while you're doing whatever you're doing in the room. Just things like that to be able to extend a theme. So, we've all complained about bathrooms or, not taking anybody to a place for that reason. You can add to the theme, you get people talking. So, there's some other things that can be done. And for example, things like, plants in the wall, in the ceiling, hanging things, color, the custom logo. So these are examples of things that can be done. So here's a way we can really revitalize a facility. Let's say you do this to the inside, to the bathrooms. Now, we're also helping you to expand the capacity for outdoors and again, generate the extra revenue that way. So, again, these things can all pay for themselves within a reasonably short period of time. So, just contact us. We can get you in touch. The design, the contracting work, everything's included. And you know what? With the outdoor, the technology, there's a couple of more things about that. For one, the outdoor technology, the sliding doors, the louvers in the ceiling, adjusted by remote. There's a couple of things is that that comes with an annual service contract. So it's like $1,000 a year for an annual service contract. There's a problem. People will come out and fix it and deal with it. It's not, oh, who do I have to call and what do I have to do? And we've got to wait 6 weeks and all that. Nope, that includes, your service contract to deal with it. So that's, a very important thing as well to keep in mind. Um, as far as it goes with this on the design, that the design work, the contracting work can be included. You can use it to expand, to update. Hard to say on whether or not you would have to close to have this done. It just kind of depends on the size and the scope of the property. So, as far as the target audience, again, this is a lot for owners, managers of restaurants, recreation facilities, clubhouses, sports courts, that type of thing. And so this is designed to increase the use and consequently the value of the business. So it's for owners to be able to expand and increase their revenue. Now, if you're a real estate investor, as we mentioned earlier, now this is something that you can make, really great use of. Because if you're a real estate investor looking into a restaurant or an opportunity, so you're making your buy price based on, okay, what's the existing revenue? You're not taking into account that you could add this technology and potentially increase the value 20, 25%, maybe more, depending on how big that outdoor space, currently outdoor space is versus how much is inside. So you're looking at a much greater income potential for what's a minor expense compared to your price for buying the facility. So now you're looking at a whole much bigger profit center for yourself. So that's why investor groups would be interested in learning about these opportunities and perhaps including them from the start. It's a way to expand without buying any more property. You don't have to add a second floor. You don't have to do a lot of things. Not that you can't, but this is the most cost effective way to expand an existing business, especially when your purchase price is based on what's going on currently. If you're a real estate broker, you want to be aware of this because you can show a potential seller how they can increase the value of what they're looking to sell. So yeah, there's the ability to say, hey, we have a, patio that could seat 30 people. We have a way that it could be done year round. Maybe you even want to offer to take on and have this project done within your sale price. So, in other words, if your sale price was going to be, and we're just making up numbers for the sake of this example, if your sale price was going to be $500,000, okay, maybe you make that sale price 550,000 because you are putting in this expansion to be able to increase their revenue for them using the projections. This is what we currently do with that outdoor space. If we had it for 6 more months, we estimate we would do X. And by increasing the value, you're increasing the potential for your investor. So there's options that way if you're a seller. Again, if you're a broker, you can point that out to the seller. But of course, for the potential buyer, now you have the ability to point out how currently this restaurant does not have the outdoor technology to make it useful year round. Their bathrooms, well, it's not the greatest experience. So here's what we can do to increase your revenue upon the purchase, but you're negotiating your buy price based on what's there now. So that's why it's important to brokers. Um, as far as lenders, financing sources, the ability to show the increased revenue probably will help. There's no guarantees in life, but probably will help your chances to get funding because you're able to make an even greater use of the current property dimensions. So there's uses for a lot of people. Now, if you're a contractor and you're saying, well, you said, Dave, you just said the contractors are, provided. And yes, they are. But our contractors or the contractors that do this, they're perfectly ready, willing, and able to partner. So if you are a contractor and you work with restaurants, hey, this could be a great added service where you say, hey, let me have one of my people work on this. We can offer it for you. We can work with you in that way. So, you know what? I'm going to paint that room. I'm going to decorate the furniture. I'm going to make you, improve the space to be able to add 10 more seats, whatever the case, might be. So, if you're a contractor, there are ways to benefit from this directly as well. So there's something in it for everybody. And you know what? There's something in this for the consumers as well, the restaurant goers. Now, they have more chances and another place to be able to enjoy a less confined or somewhat of an outdoor setting, depending on the weather that maybe they would not have had otherwise, especially in cold weather cities where they can sit out and enjoy the amenities of the patio, but know that no matter what, they're going to be protected from the weather. Consumers benefit. I kind of liken it to the football, baseball, the big out concert stadiums where there's a retractable roof. You at least know that, yeah, you'd like to be sitting outside and enjoy the weather, but if there's a rainstorm or the weather gets too cold, you know the event's going to be held and that you're going to be comfortable. And this is the advantage that, you get as a consumer, as a customer. And you know what? Going to the bathroom doesn't have to be, oh my gosh, what's it going to look like inside? Is it, not painted? It's not kept up. Now you have something fun to look at and to kind of keep you smiling, keep you in a good mood while you're in there for as long as you are. So we see this as everybody wins. All right, let's just recap this real quick and then we'll get on to some more questions. All right, we have the outdoor technology. We've just shown you the, little bit of a video of one example. So we can take a patio, a deck, even an empty space outside of a restaurant that's within the property and make it available year round. It could be outside when the weather cooperates. You can block out the sun when it's too bright and not, your customers don't like it. You've got sliding doors with options, remote controlled by the manager, the owner, whoever, gets to have the control, can be raised, lowered, partially up, so you can maybe have a little breeze come through at the bottom. It can be really thick. It could protect from wind, from rain, from snow. It can stay down for weeks or months, change every hour, whatever you want it to do. So there's that. There's the bathroom, kitchen, the dining room, the custom design with themed walls, with plants, with everything to make it unique and fun everywhere you go in that restaurant. Do contact us for more information. We thank you for joining us. And now I know we've got some questions both in the chat and from some very patient people. So let's continue along with those.